Now this is going to be a little bit different than usual. I'm going to do this all in one part, and it's going to be the movie. I'm not going to take it into multiple parts, if that makes sense. Now this is a story where I'm not going to get into too much detail on everything, which you might have seen by the time length of the video, and so not every little bit is going to be as detailed in the script, so there you go. But now our story starts. So a little bit of context here. Naruto befriended Kurama sometime at the age of 6, when it was the celebration of beating the Ninetales. Well, it was the anniversary of the Ninetales attack, but after 6 years, it turned into more of a celebration for the fallen heroes and for the safety of the village. And now we do a time skip. Naruto is suddenly woken up by Kurama. People are nearby. There's silence. It is night after all. But if you listen ever so closely, you can hear people celebrating. But that's quite a bit away, as Naruto has an apartment quite on the outskirts of the village. Hiruzen took it in mind when he, bought the apartment for him, since due to all the trouble that he's been getting, especially lately it's been getting worse, due to him being a Jinchuriki, well, being on the outskirts of the village would be better than right in the center. Anyways, 5 root members jump Naruto. Still in his pajamas, he can't really do much. Sure, he joined the academy, but that was only 2 weeks ago. And really, he can't do anything. He hasn't even learned anything yet. He's not dumb, but he's not the smartest either. But Kurama got us back, and he can't just warn. He uses his chakra and makes a cloak around Naruto to protect him from any harm. And this one is a thicker one than usual. It's almost like the skin of an animal, thick skin that would protect him even from a kunai slash. And Naruto morphs more and more into an actual fox. His nails get longer and therefore he climbs and crawls all around the walls and roofs like a spider, dodging any fireballs and kunai throws that the Anbu throw at him. But then, a different set of Anbu appear. These ones with the Hokage symbol on their chest. One of the root members, presumably the captain, tries to explain that they were just protecting themselves from the Ninetales, but they were not listened to. The Hokage's Anbu members themselves locked down the situation so no one would get hurt. And then Hiruzen himself appeared. As obviously Minato still died in the Ninetales attack, so Hiruzen took back power as the third Hokage. The captain of the Hokage's Anbu members nods, and so Hiruzen knows. They are traitors indeed. Hiruzen declares, "You 5 will be executed for treason against the village and its people. And by attempting a life on one of the villagers, you are attempting a life on the Hokage himself. So now you shall die." As the 5 of his Anbu killed the other 5 of the root. It was quite brutal, but it was the only solution to this. Hiruzen was horrified at the attempt at Naruto's life, and so this was the only solution. Immediately, he told one of his Anbus to collect Naruto, as he had now drifted into unconsciousness due to the stress on his body. Hiruzen tells another Anbu member that they were to collect all members of both councils, the civilian and the political council. They complain why on this festivity, on an anniversary like this, there is a meeting. But then when they enter the Hokage's office, there's Naruto laying in the middle with all of them sitting around in a circle. "Is he dead?" Sakura's mother asks. "He would have been, if I didn't intervene," Hiruzen answers. "So who was it?" "Actually, I don't even have to ask. I know who it was. Danzo. Telling everyone that he's a devil, you got some nerve. But trying to kill him? Are you serious? We were teammates. We were brothers. And this is how it ends? I'm sorry, but I never want to see your face again. Bring him away. Hiruzen orders. As a big squad of 12 Anbu go to imprison him, but it doesn't work. He resists, and so, with backup, including Kakashi and Itachi, it ends. And Danzo is dead. Well, now that that's dealt with, I want all of you to think about your actions. I know that each and every one of you has done something to harm this boy, either said or done or both. And seeing him like this, almost having died, I want you to think about your actions. Was it really worth it to try to ruin an 8-year-old's life? Isn't there something to say about the fact that the Ninetales, that you all despise so much, including me, tried to protect him today? I don't even know why myself, and yet, that's not the most important part here. The part is that the village is trying to kill this boy. No matter if he's a Jinchuriki or not, that's unacceptable. If any of you continue on this path, you will be dealt with exactly the same way as Danzo did today. Am I making myself clear? Hiruzen asks, as all of them nod. Thank you. You may now go back to your festivities, as the council is closed. Afterwards, Itachi and Kakashi themselves go to Hiruzen as well, with Naruto obviously still laying there. He did what? Yes, my lord. Itachi told Hiruzen all about, well, the story of how Danzo wanted to execute and kill every single one of the Uchiha clan. It was truly sickening, and at the end of hearing everything, Hiruzen was happy that Danzo was now dead. If that truly went through, the village would have never been the same. And even though they may mourn Shisui's death, it's nothing compared to the entire Uchiha clan dying and Danzo only gaining even more power with the root and perhaps even taking control of the entire village afterwards. And Hiruzen is very thankful for Itachi for not having completed his mission that was assigned to him on that very night. You are now excused. Thank you. I want to be by myself for a while. As Hiruzen thinks and thinks and thinks. This was a horrible day. Stuff that he'd been hoping for would never even have happened did happen. And other things that were unimaginable did also happen. An attempt on the 4th Hokage's son's life by his own villagers. How could this ever happen? We are truly on a straight path. We are lost. Meanwhile, Kurama and Naruto are talking. Naruto in this mindscape obviously isn't very exhausted since, well, his physical body doesn't even translate to his mindscape body at all. Only if he was, let's say, sleepy, then in his mindscape he would be a little bit tired, but not as much as in reality. And there they were discussing about many things, but mostly Kurama was telling a story of the 4th Hokage, his wife, and his child, and explained to his best the events of the Ninetales attack, and how that leads to their current situation. Sure, Naruto and Kurama had been quite close, and Kurama was the only person that Naruto could call a friend, per se. Sure, she knew some other people that weren't too bad, but they weren't really that close. Their parents never allowed them to hang out or anything, so that was that. There was, however, one girl that sometimes followed him, but they never really got to talk. She always disappeared. She was a Hyuga girl. That's really all Naruto knew about her. But anyways, Kurama told Naruto the story of how he himself attacked the village that he now resides in and has for 8 years ever since, and tells him the big secret, the one that Naruto did not know, that he is indeed the 4th Hokage's son, the one that he looks so similar to. Sure, they look similar, but he never questioned that they were related in any way. He wanted to be better than the Hokage, but related? He never even think about it. And as soon as that was mentioned, Naruto was really interested in the story. He wanted to know everything he could about his parents, but then connected the dots. It was said that Nine-Tailed Kurama killed the 4th Hokage. Is that really what happened? Naruto asks. Yes, my boy. Sadly, it is. Filled with deceptions and lies due to the Sharingan as manipulated and put under a genjutsu. And so I had no free will. But I'm sorry. Indeed, it was I that killed your parents. Well, thank you anyways, Kurama. Thank you for being my friend. As Naruto started crying, and Kurama comforted him with his tales, and Naruto snug into Kurama. They were the only family each other had, and so they would love each other unconditionally. Sure, Naruto was sad, but he was also happy. The mystery of his parents' death was finally resolved. It was dumb. He knew who they were and how it happened. And so he would not have to grumble about it any longer. He finally knew. And so Kurama kept telling stories. All that he did know. Well, obviously, he was, inside Kushina for a long time. She was the Jinchuriki after all. And even before that, he was in Mito. And so he had lived in and with the village Konoha itself for a very long time. And this was actually his 3rd Jinchuriki in a row, all inside Konoha. And so he had actually grown to like this village. Even though he was forced to be inside Mito as well as Kushina, and Naruto as well, he actually started enjoying being a part of Naruto. It was much safer, even though he did try to, get murdered a few hours earlier. It was still safer than being an actual tailed beast. And so, this experience, the story, only made them even closer. Finally waking up, Naruto had a tear trickle down his cheek. Why didn't you tell me, Gigi? Why didn't you tell me my father was the 4th Hokage? And why did you never even mention the fact that the Nine-Tails was inside me all along? Did you not find it important? Was it not worth explaining it to me? Is that it? Why? Just explain why, please. The people who were trying to kill me, even they knew it, and I didn't? Is it really worth it to hide all of that from me, but everyone else knows? Is that your plan all along? Was that what you wanted? Naruto, I'm sorry. Wait, you know about your father? What? Who told you? How do you know? And also, how did you even find out about the tailed beast? Doesn't everyone also... Naruto continued. The tailed beast isn't as bad as everyone else says he is. He's actually quite nice once you get to know. He's sometimes hard to understand, but, well, he is kind. Wait, you talked with the tailed beast? What? Since when is all this has been going on? What? Seems like both of us have a lot to explain, huh? And so, they talk all night long. Naruto doesn't say everything that he knows, but he says quite a bit. How Kurama has helped him throughout the years. Well, mostly just the last 2 years. From age around 6 to now 8. And actually, now that he was thinking about it, it was their second anniversary of their friendship. They met exactly 2 years ago on the same celebration as today. Naruto's birthday, but more importantly, the anniversary of the Nine-Tails attack. Back then, it had only been 6 years ago. Now, it was 8. And so, their friendship would be recognized and celebrated on that day, as well as the other two things. Naruto, realizing this, only realized that there was much more to celebrate than he thought there would be. And also, now knowing about his parents' bravery, that should have been celebrated as well. And that would be celebrated from him from then on. As then, Naruto slept in the Hokage's office, and so did Hiruzen. They both fell asleep whilst talking and telling stories. And so, even though it started out as a horrible night with a murder attempt, it turned out to be not too bad. Especially now that the imminent threat, Danzo, was gone for good. He was really happy. Oh, by the way, one thing that I should probably mention, in case you're wondering how Danzo was defeated so easily, well, you see, he didn't have all his Sharingans. Obviously, then the Uchiha Massacre hasn't happened yet, so all that Izanagi and the Sharingans that he has in his arm didn't happen yet. So that's just if you're wondering. Anyways, Naruto went to the academy that day, and everyone seemed to be quite happy. Well, obviously there was the usually loud kids. Kiba. Yeah, that was basically it. And the girls were quite happy to see Sasuke obviously arrive just behind Naruto. But this time, for the first time, people didn't frown when Naruto entered the room. No one made a remark, and it was as if he was a normal student all along. He was truly one of them. He was really grateful for what happened last night. How Hiruzen told all the others that, well, they should piss off. And yeah, he actually did hear a little bit of it. And Hiruzen told him the rest. Naruto sat at the back of the classroom like usual. And today, Iruka, he was usually already nice, but he was actually even kinder to him today. He had kind of heard what went on with Naruto and how he had been threatened with his life. So he wanted to give the boy a little time to relax. And so when they went out to do shuriken training, Naruto fell asleep on the grass. And whilst first people were giggling, laughing, and even Iruka was kind of giggling, smiling, no one wanted to wake him up. He looked really tired, and obviously he was. As I said, the stress on his body was quite immense, and Iruka kind of knew that, so he let him sleep even if it was during a lesson. And then, when Sasuke's turn was over throwing the shuriken, he joined Naruto, and laid down right beside him, and started napping as well. And then, one really unexpected joined. It was Hinata, the always shy, but still quite a smart girl, laid beside Naruto. Her father told her that he wouldn't, well, stop her from hanging out with the brat, the yellow-haired one. She knew who he meant. But obviously he wasn't happy, but he couldn't do anything against it. He saw what happened to Danzo. Obviously he wasn't going to do that kind of lengths, but still, he was going to be careful, especially for his family. Now, with those three laying on the grass, the rest of the class joined them, and at the end, even Iruka. So all of them slept during the middle of class for a whole hour. And then coincidentally, it was lunchtime afterwards, so they didn't have to do any work. They just continued relaxing, but with eating. So everyone is happy, especially Naruto. Going home that day, he just felt good. He felt relaxed. Everyone seemed to treat him like a normal kid, and so he took a stroll down through the city. Word had spread fast that the Hokage himself protected Naruto, and everyone knew what happened to Danzo, so they wouldn't hurt Naruto anymore. But then, even more unexpected news. It was openly declared that they finally figured out who the fourth Hokage's child was, and in fact, he survived and was nowadays known as Naruto Uzumaki. Anyone who read that was shocked, and word spread fast, and so all of them knew that the kid they'd been bullying for so long was the son of their hero, the hero that saved all of them 8 years ago, the one that had been celebrated just yesterday. And at this point, Hiyashi, Hinata's father, updated his, opinion on Naruto. And from being alright to his daughter having a relationship, just as a friend, though, with Naruto, he was now happy. She was a little bit unsure, but if this guy was truly Minato's kid, then there wouldn't be anything wrong with him. And also, Kushina had a big heart, and he was sure that Naruto carried on at least some of that. And so anyone, especially those that knew either Minato or Kushina or both, were so happy that Naruto was actually alive. This incredible news even reached the 3 Sannin and further, with each of the 3 Sannin having a completely separate and different reaction. Jiraiya was happy that Naruto would hopefully, finally, be treated as a normal kid, or perhaps even better. Tsunade was surprised. Minato's kid survived, huh? That guy. Oh wow. And wait a minute. He was... Oh! That's Kushina's kid as well, isn't it? I should pay him a visit. See what he's up to. As, obviously, we kind of believe that Tsunade is somehow related to Kushina. We're not 100% sure, but in case that's not the truth in the story, I'm just gonna say that they are, for simplicity. And obviously, Orochimaru was mixed. At first, he was excited, a new test object. This kid could be strong, and if he could be swayed to Orochimaru's side, he would become a good ally. But then he remembered who Minato really was. A furious warrior. A ferocious one. The one that had taken the spot of Hokage from Orochimaru himself. Not too long ago. And so, that mixed with the fact that his mother, Minato's wife, was a full Uzumaki with incredible chakra reserves, this kid would become a monster in the future. But Orochimaru still had the same ideas. If he could become one of his minions and be swayed to Orochimaru's side, he would become a truly incredible ally. And so, all 3 of them wanted something to do with Naruto. Jiraiya wanted to see, kinda what he's up to, but perhaps he could train him in showing some of his father's abilities. Obviously, he already knew that, Minato was his father. He was his godfather after all. Meanwhile, Tsunade just wanted to see how he is. If he's like her, like Kushina, like Minato, and, Orochimaru, you can figure. And now, the next few years went by quite fast. Naruto became quite popular in the village, and honestly, most people liked him. His classmates, the villagers, and so on. No one really disliked him anymore. Obviously, Danzo was gone, the route was abolished, or disbanded. And so, Everyone that wanted could join the normal Anbu, as the Anbu was now unified under the village's rule. Not the Hokage or Danzo, but they would serve the village, with only one squad alone having the task to survive and protect the Hokage. But as I said, that was only one squad. The rest would serve the village and village alone, not prioritizing any other person. Naruto started to do really well in school. Obviously, he became more popular, but that allowed him to have more opportunities. He finally had time to actually study, and he actually found it kind of interesting. It was fun. It wasn't hard, and with anything that he failed with, Kurama could help him. And obviously the practicals weren't too hard. Kurama taught him quite a few things. How to collect and calm his chakra, and even some techniques that Mito and Kushina used when they were younger, his age, and still training. By the way, I might have to preface this with saying that this Kurama is, as you can tell, different than the Kurama we all know and love. Obviously, this Kurama is not just the bad side of Kurama. It's not just the evil. Because Minato saw that, well, it would be kind of bad to see the worst half in his newborn child. And he knew that this evil half would do something bad. So why not take the evil half with him to death and leave the good half for his son? The one that could perhaps even help him. And so that decision was made, and the light side, the good side, was given to Naruto. That is one of the main reasons why Kurama is so willing to help in whatever situation he can. Naruto did all of his exams, and so he was finally a Genin, an actual shinobi. It was done. He was finally one of them. He was one with a village, and the village was one with him. He would protect the village with his life. If it ever came down to that. For now, he would only meet his Jonin sensei and go on missions at a later day. And in his team were Hinata, Sasuke, and himself, obviously. It was probably the best thing that he could have wished for. Him and Hinata obviously got closer and closer as she really liked him. And since her father allowed it and even liked them having a relationship, they obviously became really close friends. And Sasuke, well, Sasuke and Naruto actually got along. Sasuke never becomes an emo, if you want to call it that, because his clan's obviously alive. Sure, Shisui's dead, but he was never really close with Shisui. And so, he was still a happy child. And him and Naruto got along quite well, as they were the two most powerful kids in class. And with that, a friendly rivalry was sparked. Now they meet Kakashi obviously late, and then they do all their stuff. They introduce each other, go to the roof, and then on the next day, have the belt test. There they do really well. Naruto, well, he can work quite well with Sasuke as they have kind of similar techniques, and they're at a quite similar skill level. And obviously Hinata will go with whatever Naruto will say as she trusts him fully, as well as Sasuke. She's not super close friends with Sasuke, but she still likes him. As a friend, obviously. And so, they pass, and start doing some D-rank missions on the days after. And Kakashi is really proud of his team. It's the first team that he can finally say he truly likes. Well, the first team after, well, you know what happened to his team. It kinda fell apart, if you know what I mean. And obviously, Hinata kind of reminded him of Rin. Obviously she was shyer, but she had the same kind of energy. She was worried about everyone on the team, and she wanted to help. Sasuke wanted to prove himself and be strong, whilst Naruto, well, Naruto was kind of what Minato was. Even though he wasn't a teacher, he was the strong, laid-back guy. But he also saw himself in Naruto, the one that wanted to achieve everything possible. And so they went on many missions, and obviously after a month, well, the good mission came. They all wanted better missions, and so they finally got a searing mission, the Land of Waves. They quickly found out that this mission was much harder than it should have, and so it was bumped up to an A class later on. But as a team of 3, along with Kakashi and incredibly strong Jonin, they defeated Zabuza before they even started helping to build the bridge. And Naruto, well, he helped in building the bridge. He didn't have any of his multi-shadow clones, but he was really fast. And that kind of reminded Kakashi of Minato. He did indeed have a yellow flash behind him when he ran as fast as he could, or jumped away for whatever reason. And so, that sped up the building process by even 2 days, as Naruto was strong and fast. And obviously, Sasuke and Hinata were also helping, whilst Kakashi was not in the mood. He was, quote-unquote, protecting the bridge, though really he was just napping most of the time. He needed some holiday after the last mission. That was quite difficult. The last mission being one where he didn't go with his Genin team, but an S-ranked mission, where he, as well as other Jonin and even some Anbu, went along to arrest some criminals who destroyed entire towns in their way. And Kakashi had to use his Sharingan in the process, which exhausted him a lot. And suddenly, he only had half a day before having to go on this mission, so he was still kind of exhausted. Anyways, they went, and this mission went quite well. On the last day, when the bridge was basically done and Team 7 was almost heading back, well, the Mafia bosses came back. This time with a lot of people. Mercenaries, guards, whatever you want to call them. All of them were getting to Chunin level, and some even a little bit stronger. And Haku was there as well, to avenge Zabuza. And in the end, they were all killed. Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata were a ferocious team. And Kakashi with the Sharingan, well, let's say he helped quite a bit as well. And so they took care of the Mafia all by themselves. And the town, as well as all the nearby land, was liberated from these scoundrels. So, it was done. This mission was finished. And as I said, they would be paid accordingly for an A-ranked mission. So they wouldn't complain about the difficulty of the mission. Especially Kakashi, who actually wanted to turn back halfway through. But, well, his kids, I guess, told him that they would continue. The mission was done, and now they would start their tuning exams. But something happened. A group called the Akatsuki attacked. Luckily, Tsunade and Jiraiya were there in the village at the moment to fortify their defenses. That was not the reason they were there. They were actually there to, well, talk to Naruto. They wanted to wait till he finished his academy so he would be mature. Though they were expecting more, he was still kind of immature. But he was a nice, upright boy. For now, they had bigger problems though, and fought off the Akatsuki, which did include Orochimaru, by the way, but not Itachi, so that's a plus for them. Itachi was on their side, along with the rest of the Uchiha clan, and so this was much easier to defend than the Konoha Crush was. Sure, they had more opponents this time, with the entire Akatsuki openly attacking them. But okay, it wasn't really the entire Akatsuki. Pain wasn't there, since he needed to rest from his previous mission. But basically everyone else was there. Obviously Itachi was not there. And so it was a really hard battle. But they did really well. The Uchiha, Anbu, and Jonin were all prepared. The Anbu obviously all united under one and knew exactly what to do. Protect the village at all costs. The Uchiha, well, their relationship with the Leaf healed a lot, especially after Danzo being captured. The plot to overthrow all the Uchiha did come out and they were really mad about it. That it was considered to kill them all. But after a month or two, with Hiruzen talking to them, basically talking to each one of the Uchiha, things calmed down, and they themselves stopped planning a coup against the Leaf. And obviously, with the two Saiyans on their side as well, especially with Tsunade being able to heal everyone, this battle did take quite a bit, took a lot of time, and destroyed some buildings, but most importantly, took a lot of good people. But in the end, the Leaf and the Will of Fire came out victorious. By the way, the Genin teams did fight, obviously. They were going to protect their village, but they didn't do that much, though Team 7 was quite the talk. They defeated quite a lot of the henchmen, and even took on Sasori himself, and defeated him at the end of the fight. Kakashi did need a Sharingan, but with Sasuke being better trained due to the Uchiha being there, Naruto having much better control of, well, the Nine Tails, and Hinata, well, being Hinata, even before the Shippuden time skip, they were able to defeat one of the Akatsuki members. Sure, it was kinda difficult, but they did it. And then they moved on, though at that point, most of the villains that they called villains were gone, either retreated or dead, defeated anyway. And so the village was victorious in this battle, and all the clan heads at the same time requested a full-out attack on the Akatsuki. They took many lives of each of the clans, but most importantly, lives of the village. As now having a common enemy, all of the villagers, no matter of what clan, bound together to fight and protect themselves and protect each other. And so they were united by the Akatsuki, funny enough. But in the end, they attacked the Akatsuki rather than waiting to be attacked once more, and this time annihilated all of them. With almost all of the Uchiha going, a lot of the Hyuga, the Anbu, Jonin, though obviously some of them needed to stay behind to protect the village in case they were attacked by someone different. And in the end, they were victorious. The Akatsuki were defeated, and Madara's plans were completely broken, in shambles. And it would take Black Zetsu another 1,000 years to get such good odds, and so he would lay in the shadow once more, waiting for a better opportunity. Naruto and all his friends grew up, and with time, they ranked up to Chunins, Jonins, and it would take Black Zetsu another 1,000 years to get such good odds, and so he would lay in the shadow once more, waiting for a better opportunity. Naruto and all his friends grew up, and with time, they ranked up to Chunins, Jonins, and just as in canon, Naruto became the Hokage, with Sasuke being one of the most important other people rather than Hokage himself. But he was still quite influential, and was basically, as it's often called, the Shadow Hokage. Both of them were incredibly powerful, and obviously Naruto still ended up, well, having his wedding with Hinata to end the story off. The clans bound together and were never really separated by any internal feuds. They were all a village rather than clans, and they all carried the Will of Fire along with them. But that's going to be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like, subscribe, I'll see you in the next one. I really hope you enjoyed this movie, and I'm sorry if the end was not to your liking. It's always hard to do an end in my opinion, since at the start it's kind of easy to impress people, but it's kind of hard to wrap up the story. At least that's for me. I hope you enjoyed anyways. Thank you. Till next time. See ya.